Good evening. Hello. Welcome to Sunday Night Satsang with myself, John Homewood, and
Michelle McLennan. Hi.
Michelle McLennan. Welcome. If you are new to this broadcast, we have a satsang most Sunday evenings, not every Sunday evening, but most Sunday evening. And it's really just a collection of like-minded souls, people who wish to center themselves and connect with their spiritual side before the new week starts. Satsang just means a gathering of wisdom. That's really what it means, a gathering of wisdom. So welcome, and tonight we're going to theme the satsang along the lines of what do you really want? What do you really want? And the adjunct to that is, how do you get what you really want? How do you get what it is you really want? So that's what we're going to be looking at this evening. We'll start with a short centering meditation, and then Michelle will enlighten us with some information on the new moon that's coming up this week. And the new moon is always a time for new beginnings, so it's always interesting to hear what the focus of the energies is for this new phase of growth in our lives. And if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do so. And if you'd like to join our Facebook group, please go onto our website, which is journeysofawakening.com, and from there you can join our WhatsApp group as well. So it's a broadcast group, but it just sends out the information that we have to share and updates. Right, so let's start this evening by just bringing ourselves into the most sacred place that we can ever occupy, and that is the present moment. This is a place where we connect with our divine self. This is the place where we connect with life. This is where we can find healing, and this is where we can find love. So it's a good place to start the satsang. So gently, you might like to settle back, see that you're comfortable. Maybe you've got some cushions, you've lit a candle. It's always nice to center ourselves with a little bit of sacred intention. Lighting a candle is a good idea. Hello, Evie. Nice to see you, and Sonia.
Hi, Evie.
And just center yourselves and allow yourselves some me time. And I'm going to add, besides the me time, some time just to be. So we can call it be time. Be time. So gently close your eyes and just center your awareness into this most sacred of all places, which is the present moment. This is where life happens. So take a deep breath in. This is the breath of life. So just as you take it in, just become aware of the sacredness of this one breath that you're taking now. Take a very deep breath in, right down to the lower lungs. So you're expanding the diaphragm, you're pushing your tummy out as you breathe in. And as you release the breath, just bring your belly button back to touch the spine. So you're releasing and relaxing and settling more into your physical body. Take another very deep breath in, blowing your tummy up like a big ball, and then you let it go. Just sigh it all out. Relax your shoulders and your neck muscles. Relax any worry lines on your forehead. Just let it go. Take another very deep breath in. This time you can imagine the air going right down to your toes, so you're really drawing the air in, up to the top of the head as well. Bigger, and then release it, and just relax down into the chair that you're sitting on now. And hand over the breath to this incredible intelligence called life. This intelligence that knows that you need to breathe every moment of your human journey. It knows that your heart has to beat. It beats your heart, it digests your food, and it sees that the air is taken from the lungs to every single one of your billions of cells in your body, every moment of every day and every night. Whether you're awake or asleep, this intelligence is living you. So let's just for a moment hand over, surrender to this energy we call life, this intelligence we call life, and allow it, completely unintruded by your mind, to live you. Allow life in this moment to flow through you and through every single cell in your body, unimpeded by any blockages, any resistance. Just allow it to flow. And with every out-breath, just relax that little bit more, just a little bit more. and allow this moment to be exactly as it is, exactly here and now. Just become aware of any discomfort in the body, any aches or pains right now in the body, and allow them to be there. Don't try and resist them or get rid of them. Just allow them to be there. If there are any disturbances in your exterior environment, any noises, just allow them to be there as well. Don't form any resistance. Allow the sound or the disturbances just to flow through you, as if there's no one there to resist. Just become aware of where your arms are resting right now, where your hands are resting. And you might like to extend a little bit of gratitude to your fingers for the dexterity that they've given you today, for all the things that have allowed you to experience today. And you might like to extend this gratitude to your feet, for allowing you to move, to walk, maybe even run, maybe skip and dance. A little bit of gratitude to every one of your toes. And in order to do this, we have to be fully here now. To be aware of the toes and the hands, we have to be present. It's presence that's aware of the body. And we in truth are this presence, this consciousness that channels through the mind into the body. While the mind always makes yesterday and tomorrow more important than this moment, in truth we are conscious awareness, which is only ever present. And so if just for this moment we release all attachments to all of the times and all of the places, and just become more centrally focused, more balanced in presence. And as we do that, something shifts inside our body. We feel a greater sense of ease, greater sense of peace. And this sense of peace and ease is our birthright. It opens up the mind to higher levels of intelligence. One can call it genius, where we are open to the intelligence of the universe. And situations and problems resolve themselves. They dissolve in the light of presence. The body clears blockages, and so healing takes place. Our parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system go into balance. The more we spend in presence, the more we allow life to balance the body. And the results of that is a more youthful look, a more radiant being. So this is an investment in health, in wellness, to be here now, in this moment, in this unique moment that we're experiencing right now. And we give thanks to the guidance that brought us here this evening, to bathe for a while in this beautiful ocean of connection, of community, of empathy and compassion and love. And from this point of presence. There is an energy that radiates out into the world right now, allowing those who are ready for transformation to feed off this light, to make their transition easier from fear into love, from disturbance into peace. For our presence is the gift of healing that the world needs now. Take a very deep breath in, very deep breath in. And as you breathe out, just become aware of the stillness that underlies the physical world, the peace that passes all human understanding, the peace of eternity. Take another very deep breath in and surrender the breath to life. And gently, when you're ready, you may softly open your eyes and just maintain that sense of ease and peace that hopefully you connected with in the meditation. Thank you for being here. Who's joined Birgit and Lyle and Anya?
Evie. Hi everyone.
Hello, hello, hello.
It's good to see you all. Well, we can't really see you.
Yeah, we can't see
We
you.
can imagine seeing
We
you.
can see a few names. We can see a
You can
few
see
names.
teeny little things about this big on the top of the screen.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, let us know how you feel in this moment. You feel a bit more relaxed, a bit more centered, a bit more at ease, hopefully. Hello, Maria.
Hi, Maria.
My ex-lovely, wonderful next-door neighbour. Haven't seen you for a while. And tell us what's happening in the stars at the moment. What's happening with this
A
new moon?
happening on the 8th, 7th or 8th. So in South Africa it's the 8th in the early hours of the morning. And new moons, hello Diane. New moons are always time to plant new seeds. So this one's a beautiful one. It's in the sign of? What's in the sign
Aries.
of? No, Taurus, John.
God, I thought Aries were
No,
always in
Taurus.
everything. Taurus.
Earth
Okay.
sign, beautiful
Okay.
earth sign. Think plants, trees, nature, beauty, love.
But I thought that was Aries. No.
Taurus is ruled by Venus, the planet of love,
Okay.
and the planet of money, and the planet of partnership. And Venus has also moved into Taurus, so there's a whole batch of planets in Taurus, and they're basically coming together. So the new moon's happening on Wednesday. No, it's the 8th. It's Wednesday, and there's actually a beautiful alignment with the planet of abundance, which is Jupiter. And so it seems like this could be quite an abundant time for us personally, and just I think more in our inner world, sort of true abundance. So Taurus is often very associated with what we get, what we have, what we can hold on to. It's a tangible earth sign. It's what we've earned. It's our beautiful belongings in our homes and our clothes and the cars that we drive. It's very associated with belongings and resources. And so a lot of people think of abundance associated with that, but there's other factors in this new moon which is kind of pointing to, what's true abundance, what do we really want. So that's sort of one of the reasons this theme came about. So yeah, that's what we're coming up on Wednesday. So plant new seeds on Wednesday for abundance, because these planets are moving together, so it's like we're being supported to open to the gifts of the universe.
Well, we have moved on to a farm which is now a sanctuary in the garden route, and it's really beautiful here. We have a big piece of open ground in front of us. So yesterday we spent a bit of time planting seeds. It was a bit early.
For new moon.
We took
You're not supposed to plant new seeds on the waning moon.
We took a whole lot of fynbos
But we're not
seeds
going to be
and
here,
sowed
so
them.
we had to.
But on Wednesday we're planting other seeds. What are we doing on
We're
Wednesday?
doing a retreat at the Buddhist Retreat Centre, but that only starts on...
No, but we're driving. So we're
Driving.
setting the momentum for the retreat
are.
by driving.
We
Yeah,
are.
we
Yeah.
are. So that's the seeds that we're sowing on Wednesday for the weekend retreat. So that's good. Yeah, so tonight's topic is how to get what you really want. And the first question which you have to ask is what is it you really want? We all have these ideas in our minds about what we really want, but how many of you have actually written down what it is you really want and taken the time to focus on it? And the question, whatever you write down there is, you question it and you say, well, look, I've written down that I want a nice home, I want a nice relationship, I want a healthy body, I want fantastic children and grandchildren, I want a better world. But the real question is, well, I've written that down as something I really want, but it's not what I really want, because I want that to bring me something. And what you're hoping that all of that will bring you is a feeling. So if you haven't written down a feeling on your piece of paper, you haven't got to what it is you really, really want. You want the beautiful house. Why? Because you want to feel secure. You want to feel the enjoyment of a new house. You want to feel happy. So ultimately, all our wanting is ready to bring us happiness or something else. Like, for example, it could be peace. It could be a feeling of love. So first of all, before we focus on how to get what you really want, we need to know what it is you really want. So just take a moment to consider what it is that you really want. And usually what we put into there is, what do you really, really, really want? And the first really is what your mind wants, which is generally a somethingness. Am I right? And the second really is what you've been programmed to believe you should have. For example, I really want there to be an end to all hunger and poverty on earth, and I want there to be an end to war. And that's good as well. But that's not what you really, really, really want. If you just ask, well, why do I want there to be an end to war? Why do I want all the hungry to be fed? Because then I'm going to feel at peace. When all of that happens, then I'm going to feel at ease. So what you really, really, really want is to feel at ease. So that's where we start. We start at the end. What is it you really, really want to feel at the end of all of your wanting? And that's the important part, because until you can identify that feeling, you're going to be misled by less than goals in your life.
Yeah, and the thing is that when we ask for whatever it is that we feel that we want, so loud with joy, we want peace, we want freedom, whatever. Put what you want up on the screen. It's lovely to read those. What we're also saying is what we don't want. So a lot of the time we're saying, well, we don't want dis-ease, we don't want trouble, we don't want drama, we don't want challenge, we don't want life to be difficult. We want life to be easy, flowing, beautiful, wonderful, harmonious, all the time, constantly, forever. And, well, I don't know about you, but that's generally not what life's about. It's not wonderful and beautiful and incredible outside in our surroundings all the time. It's not the nature of this planet, of our incarnation. So if we are relying on the outside world to give us what we want, we're always going to be wanting.
Yeah, and let's just look at what Lyle wrote there. He wrote joy. All right, he wrote joy. So that's beautiful. Joy is really, really lovely. And the mind comes in and says, yeah, I really want joy, but I can't have joy right now because, and they'll think of a million reasons why you can't be a joy right now. And all I need to do is fix myself, fix my partner, fix the world around me,
get more,
whatever, get something, change the situations and circumstances, events and people around me, and then I'm going to feel that joy as a result of me getting all of that. And so why don't we start with that end in mind? Why don't we start with joy right now in our hearts? Why can't we feel joy right now? Now, the mind will come up with a million reasons why you can't feel joy right now, or peace right now, or love right now. But those are all thoughts. And the unawakened mind allows thoughts to block the true essence of life. The true essence of life is joy. The true essence of life is love. The true essence of life is peace. The true essence of life is abundance. All of these are the very nature of life itself. And the only thing that blocks our awareness of that is the thoughts that we are thinking that may be less than in alignment with the true essence of who and what we are.
And a lot of those thoughts have been programmed. So a lot of our lives are living on a program. We've been programmed since day one in some way. As soon as we get a name, as soon as we are told that we're a gender and we do this and we do that, we're programmed. So we think that what we want is what we want, but a lot of it is being told to us that that's what you should want. And so we've got to realize that we're actually dealing with programs, and every one of us is seeing the world from a different perspective because we're all running a different program. So, I mean, you're seeing us, but you're all seeing us on a different screen. So you're seeing the same thing happening, but it's happening in a different way for each of you because you're all running what we're saying through your own filter. What I'm saying is different from what John's saying, because we have different filters, different programs running. So we've got to realize that a lot of our wants and a lot of our preferences come from our programs. So as soon as we have a program running, we're going to have a preference. So if we are, for example, we've been married before, we've had a relationship before, and that relationship ends in a bad way, we're going to want to find a partner that doesn't have any of those particular characteristics or personality traits, so that we don't have to experience that again, because now we've got a program. So now that informs what we're actually wanting. Our preferences are like that, I don't like that. I want that, I don't want that. And so I believe that this awakening process is to see those patterns, to see those preferences, to just notice them. It's not we have to heal them, we don't have to eradicate them. It's just to notice them, because we're the awareness that sees them. And then we see that we're reacting and we're creating our preferences from our programming, from our data files. It's almost like we've got a computer in our brain or in our psyche, and it's full of stuff. And so when we are wanting from that place, it's not even really pure wanting.
Yeah, and what are those programs that you're speaking about? What are those programs but collections of thoughts?
Yeah.
And those programs, unfortunately, most thoughts, 99% of all thoughts are unconscious. In other words, we're not aware of those thought processes. Only about 1 or 2% of our thoughts pop up into our prefrontal lobe and we become aware of them. The rest of the thoughts are running the show in the subconscious, below consciousness. And unfortunately, those thoughts are the ones that dictate what we see in the world and how we act in the world. And as Carl Jung said, our work is to make the unconscious conscious. In other words, become aware of those. And I say, yes, that's true. And I believe that if you start focusing very exclusively on what it is you really, really, really want, for example, joy in Lyle's case, or peace of mind in Sonia's case, if you focus on what it is you really, really want as a top priority in each and every moment, you will change and dissolve those old programs to become more aligned with the flow of what it is you want. And what I mean by that is in every moment we get to choose. We can choose the worlds of situations, circumstance, events, or people to control our feelings, or we can master our feelings and radiate that. So in a moment, for example, someone cuts you off in traffic. In that moment, you've got a choice. You can get annoyed and go into unconscious patterns of, I'm not good enough, they didn't respect me, they're an idiot, etc. Or you can remember, now hang on a minute, I want peace, or I want joy. And then you, from that state of awareness, you're able to choose. Because you can't truly choose if you're not awake, if you're not conscious. If you're not conscious and awake, then your old programs are choosing the feelings for you. But in this moment, the car cuts you off and you choose joy, or you choose peace. You can experience joy even when someone's cut you off. Why not? Why can't you? Of course you can. You can choose that. And as you choose from a higher mind or a higher level of awareness what it is you really, really, really want in each and every moment of the day, that will flower into an altered state of reality in the external world. You will start to meet situations, circumstances, events and people that mirror the internal environment. because the world out there is a construct of the feelings that we collectively feel. And as we change the feelings on the inside, so we change the world that's being reflected on the outside. But you have to, A, know what it is you really, really, really want, and value that more than the righteous indignation of the driver cutting you off. You have to want that more than your preferences, more than your judgments.
More than your wants and desires, for everything to be perfect on the outside world. Because as much as we say that we do want inner peace or joy, most of us do want things to be better on the outside world, because it's much easier to feel peaceful when there's no trouble in your life. And it's much easier to feel joy when there's nothing difficult happening. So our practice is to come back to that state, or as close to that state as we can, right in the middle of whatever's going on. You know, that's the practice. It's not suddenly just getting there in one foul swoop necessarily, although a handful of people have got enlightened in one moment. Not most of us, it's a process. So if we just know that, as John said, you know, I really want peace, then that moment in the traffic, there's a choice. I'm either going to go to war or I'm going to stay in peace. That's it. It's simple. But you've got to be able to realize it before you go to war, because the pattern might be running that somebody's cut me off in the traffic, and it happened before a long time ago, and something happened, and so now there's a pattern running which initiates an angry response in you. So that's where the awareness comes in, because it's a fine line of, am I going to be aware, or am I going to go straight into the old pattern? Because if you're aware, you're not going to go into the old pattern. If you can catch yourself in awareness, if you can see that, and that's, for me, that's the process of self-discovery, of getting to know ourselves. Because when there's a trigger, it's to know yourself enough to know that this is a trigger. You might feel suddenly a tightening or a flushing or your heart beating. There's a moment when you know that there's something here. There's an energy shift. And it's in that moment that we get the chance and the opportunity to say, there's an energy shift here. I have a choice to make. I can choose to align, or I can choose to just run off in another direction. So it's a moment, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a moment of choosing. You used the word align. Align with life in this moment. In other words, you can choose in the moment to resist this moment, to say no to this moment. He shouldn't have cut me off. I'm going to sit on my hooter, or I'm going to get very angry, or whatever. That is taking you in a certain direction. Or I'm going to accept, he did cut me off. Is there anything I need to do in this moment? Well, no, not really. There's nothing I can really do in this moment. And then I remember that my highest value is, what I really, really, really want in this moment is peace. Can I get that? Of course I can be at peace in this moment. Yes, I can be at peace in this moment. Now, just a little aside here is, when we ask you what it is you really want and how to get what you really want, just be aware that if it's a thingness in life that you want, and you've got to be honest about it. Do you want thingness in life?
And it's fine to want thingness, by the way.
Thingness is fine. Except it's to realize that all thingnesses are transitory. They all have a birth date and a death date. In other words, they are coming through our awareness. And so, yes, it's great to get something, you know. If we get something, we can be maybe more at peace or more in joy in this moment because we've got what we wanted. But because it's a thingness, it's going to also dissipate. And is that feeling of peace or joy or love going to dissipate when that thingness goes? So it is, I believe, more wise to disconnect the feeling that you really want from your situation, circumstance, events, and people. So, for example, I want to be happy. In order to be happy, the mind says, I need a partner to meet my needs. That's what I need. I need a
the partner
partner.
will make me happy. We often refer to it like that, don't we?
Yeah.
This person makes me happy.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're not going to challenge me in any way. They're not going to push my
They just
buttons.
make me happy.
They're just going to make me happy. Now, the problem is that you've made your happiness conditional. Now, the question is, do you want unconditional happiness or conditional happiness? Do you want conditional joy or unconditional joy? Conditional joy is when there's a beautiful new puppy in the room and it's bounding around and you feel this immense joy. Well, if you focus on the puppy and you think the puppy gave you joy, it's a conditional state. It's conditional on the puppy being bounding around and being at joy. Because in maybe 10, 15 years' time, that puppy is no longer a puppy. It's now an old dog and it's dying. And now your joy is gone because that which you loved is dissipating. And your joy is gone. But what we are speaking about here is the joy that passes all forms of attachment. It underlies the events, situations, and circumstances of your life. The peace underlies all the situations and circumstances of your life. This is eternal peace or eternal joy. And yes, it's not a case of I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy enough for it. It is your true state. It's your true essence. It takes resistance and effort to keep you away from your true state. It takes effort to keep you out of joy. It takes effort and resistance and energy to keep you away from peace. Because the only thing that can take us away from joy and peace and love is the thinking mind. Never the situations or circumstances of our life. It's actually your thoughts about the situations and circumstances of your life that rob us of joy or peace or love. So the work to be done here is to master the mind. It's not to get rid of the mind, but it's to make it your servant. In other words, you become the master of your thinking mind. And how do you do that? Any ideas?
With great awareness.
That's
constant vigilance, I call it.
Moment to moment awareness.
The mind has got a mind of its own, so it's constant vigilance. It's literally got to be a case of every moment of the day, every interaction, being aware of what you really want and bringing yourself back to it. And it's a choice in every moment. And it does get easier when you start to do that regularly, because it's a bit like a pendulum. The pendulum starts to swing back to your alignment quicker than when you're unaware of it and your mind's just going dilly, left, right and center. When you start to do it more, that's why meditation helps and yoga helps and nature helps to align us, because it actually brings you closer into your true alignment. So it's for me, I don't know what you would say, but for me it's constant vigilance. It's a vigil on how am I. There's an energy shift. Okay, I have a choice in this moment to align. So it's just you're continually aligning back, and not to see it as wrong when you go out of alignment, because that's just showing you, I've got something that I need to work on here. I've got something I need to learn. There's something that's showing me this is my growth. This is what I'm here for. I'm evolving. I'm an evolving consciousness. So yes, I went off there. That's okay. I can come back. So for me, it's the journey of coming back over and over and over, and not beating myself up when I don't come back immediately. And when afterwards I've got to think, I kind of lost my way there. I've got to bring myself back. But it's also done in a way where it's not personal. It's almost watching yourself. So it's almost, in my case, it would be me watching Michelle. It's interesting. Michelle's just gone into fear here. It's interesting. There's a fluttering and there's a heat rising. There's a slight disidentification with it, because you can see it. You're the witness to it. And then you hold space for that. You just allow it to be there. You don't have to fix it. You don't have to drive it off. You don't have to push it down. You certainly don't have to analyze it, because you can't. And you don't have to strategize it, because you can't. You just come back into alignment. And you?
Yeah, I use the word vigilance, and that's a very good word. And the other way I would just frame it exactly the same, though, is conscious awareness.
Yeah.
To bring more conscious awareness into each and every moment of your life. I'm walking. Am I consciously aware of this step that I'm taking now? Or am I lost in thought? Have I disappeared into yesterday? Or am I projecting myself in tomorrow? Or am I just drinking this cup of tea? Am I just eating this plate of food? Am I just hammering this nail in? Whatever I'm doing, let me bring conscious awareness into what I'm doing. When we are consciously aware, we can then make the conscious choice to choose what it is we really, really want in this moment. I want peace. Yeah, I'm not going to get angry with that guy that just cut me off in the traffic because I want peace. Why would I get angry with a guy in the traffic when what I really want is peace? I don't want to be right. I don't want to be vindicated in my driving habits. I don't want justice. I actually want peace in this moment. That's what I want. And so I'm going to choose peace. Or I'm going to choose joy in this moment, just feel joy in this moment. Or I'm going to choose to feel happy in this moment. Irrespective of what the situation is that's going on around you. The other part of this question is what do you really want? Is what is or who is the you that's doing the wanting? Yeah, the wanter. Who is the wanter? Is it your little vulnerable, not good enough me that wants a bigger car so it can feel better about itself, that wants a better set of clothes so that people will admire it, wants to achieve more so that people will look up to you? Is it the damaged part of yourself that is doing the wanting? Or is it the real eternal you? Is it the God self that is doing the wanting? And I believe that there are wants from both levels. The little you, yes, does want protection. It does want validation. It does want its fears to be dissipated. Yes, it does. But unfortunately, the little self always looks to things to validate it. Where the God self, the real self, the I am presence that is sitting here always witnessing your life, which is you, its conscious awareness, doesn't get too caught up in thingnesses of life. It is the real essence, the eternal essence of you. It transcends the time-based you. And that witnessing presence is always here. Now, if you get caught up in the little wants of the little me, you're going to always experience the results of the illusion that things can make you happy, that things can bring you joy, that things will bring you love. Because yes, they may appear for a very short time to bring it to you. However, because it's an illusion, it will dissipate very quickly. Say, for example, you're looking for a beautiful partner to bring you love. And you find this most incredible person. They come into life, your heart opens, you experience this incredible bliss. And then what happens is you marry them. And then what happens is you go on honeymoon. And then what happens, you come back from the honeymoon. And after the honeymoon, well, there's the washing, and there's the cleaning, and there's the earning money. And suddenly that openness, that bliss, that joy is no longer there anymore. And now you start to see them in their human state. You start to see the wrinkles, the pain, the reactions, the unconscious reactions that they have, and they're no longer giving you this feeling of joy.
Doesn't make me happy anymore.
No,
I'm off.
No. So what you can is trade them in for a new one, which is quite often what happens in this world. Or you can step back and realize that you are caught in an illusion that a thingness and a physical personality, a body is a thingness, could bring you something that is eternal, something that is transcendent of the physical world. Because as I said earlier, we don't want brief love, we don't want brief joy, we don't want brief peace. We want eternal love, eternal peace, eternal joy. And that which is finite cannot give you the eternal. So it's to step back into this witnessing presence, this I am, this unconditioned consciousness, which is always here, it's always in this room. It's the ability to listen to this conversation that we're having this evening. It's that which is real. And when you step back into that and you align with that non-judgmental, non-preferential awareness, It doesn't require a person to feel love. It doesn't require a set of circumstances to feel peace. It doesn't require situations to be different than other than what they are to feel joy. Because that is its true, authentic nature. It is love. It is peace. It is joy. It is the stillness behind all the noise of the mind. And in order to get what you really want, we have to be willing to let go of the thingness that we perceive ourselves to be and to step into the real essence of who and what we are. The real essence of who and what we are is not incomplete. It doesn't need things to be added to it so that it can feel worthy. It is already worthy. In fact, worthiness doesn't even come into its consciousness. There's no such thing as patience, for example, in the real essence of the witnessing presence. It's just a natural state of being. And as we start to honor our true, authentic, natural state of what I call isness of being, so we've discovered that what we really want is already here. It's our true nature. And then that informs how we move into the day. How we move through relationships, how we move through our careers, comes from this state of beingness rather than looking for myself in the world of things and the world of doingness.
And then we flow from that. Then life flows from that because then we're in alignment with life. We're one with life. So there's a good chance that life flows easier when we're actually flowing. Whereas when we're resistant, where we're almost switching off. If there's a tap of water, we're switching off the tap when we're in resistance. We're not allowing the flow of life to come through because there's something that we're resisting. Just something that you said there was also, it's that moment where you get the new car or you get the new partner or the new house or the new dress or whatever it is. In that moment, there's a momentary, there's an opening, isn't there? There's a beautiful feeling of, here's this beautiful person, be it a friend, a lover, whatever it is. Here's this beautiful person. Here's this incredible place. I'm on holiday. It's, I've opened. And in that moment, you've stopped wanting. The wanting has stopped, just briefly. There's a stopping of wanting. I'm on holiday. I can open. I've got a partner. I'm not wanting anymore. So for those moments, you've stopped wanting and you've come into your truth, which is the non-wanting. Because you're here. You're present. You're not trying to go anywhere. You're not thinking that there's going to be something else because you're quite happy in this moment with what's arrived. So it's that process of just coming back to the closest that you can come to that is aligned with what you really, really want, what you really, 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 really want.
Which is really giving up wanting, because that's the secret
giving up
of
wanting,
this.
because the wanting is the thing that separates us from this.
Correct. It's a denial of the beauty of life in this moment. It's the denial of love in this moment. It's the denial of joy in this moment. It's a denial of peace in this moment, which is, and it's always here. So you're denying reality in this moment.
And you're looking for something else always.
Yeah.
So this arrives, and then the next day there'll be something else that you need, that you want. Because this isn't perfect. So I can't be okay in myself because this isn't right. And until I sort that out, it's not going to be right, and I can't feel okay. Mm. And that's the way the majority of our population on Earth live. So this is what we are awakening to. Yeah. It's not that we are awakened. We're not enlightened. I mean, if we were enlightened, we'd be drifting around somewhere. We're not enlightened. We're all human. We're having this human experience to teach us this, to help us to learn this. So it's also not something to blame ourselves for if we align with the outside and think that it's going to make us happy. It's just to see through that illusion, though.
Well, it's quite simple.
It's an illusion, because the outside doesn't make you happy forever. It can't be, and the outside can never be happy enough for you to be happy forever.
Yeah, it's quite simple. When you get caught up in the illusion, there's always disillusionment.
Yeah.
And disillusionment is pain and suffering. So if you're experiencing suffering, it's because there's disillusionment. It's because you have focused on the unreal, looking for the real in the unreal. So there is the illusion, and along with that disillusionment comes suffering.
Yeah, so this month and this time astrologically, and that is about building our inner root. It's building our stability. It's building our value, our true value. What is truly valuable? What is truly valuable to us? What is truly worthwhile for us? Where do we find our value, our true value? So that's where the focus is.
Yeah.
And that's our theme for the month for inner space as well.
Yeah.
What's it? True self-value.
Yeah, self-value.
Our inner space call for this month.
If you're watching this and you're not part of our inner space community, please do join. You know, this is pretty much a one-way conversation that we're having in these satsangs, but it's so much better when we have a two-way conversation, which we do on inner space. We have 2 90-minute meetups a month where we converse and have a beautiful interaction with the group, and there's so much learning that comes on from the sharing of the people who are on inner space every
there's
month.
Lots of journaling and creative exercises and stuff like that as well on inner space. So
yeah.
The
and the details for that are on our website, journeysofAwakening.com. You can just join us for 1 month if you wish. Yeah. So the truth is that in the question, you know, in the statement, how to get what you really want, there's first of all to identify what it is that you really, really, really want.
And
identify that.
Type it down.
And put that on the highest of your list of values. That's right up there. And do not let anything come above that. And you will have it. And secondly is to recognize who is doing the wanting. Is it your insecure, incomplete, egoic self? Or is it your true, authentic being? And this third point, which Michelle made quite nicely there, is if you really want that, then give up wanting and discover what is already here. Discover the beauty and the magnificence of this moment exactly as it is. And I remember some years ago, 7 years ago now, my late partner passed away from cancer. And as she slipped out of her body, I was aware that deep within me there was joy and there was peace. Yes, there was a bit of pain on the surface, but underneath that, the real experience was joy, absolute joy. Now that for the mind that's attached to thingnesses is an impossibility. There's only pain, says the mind. But when you step back into the true essence of who and what you are, you find that joy is always here. That peace, that love is always here. It's not dependent on the changing situations and circumstances of our life. But you have to give up wanting and step into being in order for that to be realized in your own life. To realize joy, to realize love, to realize peace. These are realizations. They're not acquisitions.
And that means to give up wanting to fix somebody else. Giving up wanting to fix the outer circumstances in order to make you feel joyful. You can do what you need to do on the outside to fix what you have to fix if you can do that, but it's not going to give you what you really, really want. It's going to give you a momentary satisfaction maybe, or a momentary glimpse of it, but it's not sustainable. So we're talking about sustainable sustainability, spiritual mastery. That's what this journey is for all of us. Otherwise you wouldn't be here on the call.
Yeah. And part of the awakening process is a process of realizing what obstacles you're putting in the way of experiencing what you really, really, really want. Because if you really, really want to experience love, and you're not experiencing love in this moment, then there are obstacles in the way. And the obstacles are not out there, they're in here. They're obstacles in my mind, in my preferences and my judgments in this moment that are preventing me from experiencing love or peace or joy in this moment. And I am 100% responsible for what happens here. I might not be 100% responsible for what happens in the world out there, in the world of things, but I'm 100% responsible for this, my
And
internal environment,
inner state, yeah.
for my inner space, inner state.
Yeah. And also, just we often get into a sort of like a pattern, so it becomes a neural, like a pathway of, let's just say, criticism, or looking for the bad, or looking for the ugly, or looking for the pending disaster that might just happen in a minute. It's just to notice that. It's to notice those old patterns, because that's what's blocking it. So it's those old patterns of behavior, of reaction, of the way you speak to someone, the way you speak to yourself, the way you react to circumstances, what your mind is saying. It's just to become more and more aware of it, because then you can actually start to move back into alignment, away from that, because it's usually resistance. That's resistance. And resistance is the opposite of being here now.
Yeah, it is. This is a journey of awakening, and the journey of awakening is really the journey of awareness, to bring more and more awareness. And we run a 13-week online program called Journey to Freedom. And we have 13 modules in there, and each module is another look at those little barriers that we have created to love, to joy, to peace. And we shine the light of awareness on that dark place, not trying to fix it in any way. You don't fix darkness. You walk into the room and you don't try and fix the dark room. You put on the light. And the process of awakening is not to understand, and it's not to fix. It's to bring the light of awareness into those dark recesses of the mind that have ruled us and robbed us of the joy of being. And that's the work that we're all busy with at the moment. I'm sure all of you on this call tonight are busy with those processes of realization, of self-realization in your own lives in various ways.
So that's a good seed to plant for this new moon that's coming up. What do you really, really, really want? Plant that seed at new moon. And between now and new moon, because it's a waning moon, just a release the blocks that might come up for you, that you can notice, that might be blocking that as they come up. I see this is a block, this is a pattern, this is a knee-jerk reaction. I can let this go just in this moment. Just in this moment. If it happens again next moment, then you let it go again in the next moment. So this is a waning moon, so before Wednesday it's letting go, and then on Wednesday morning, early, because it's early in the morning in South Africa, new moon, you can look in your own place if you're not in South Africa, is plant those seeds early in the morning in your meditation. Imagine actually planting the seed of joy or peace in soil in the middle of your heart, in that beautiful fertile place of your heart. Plant that seed. There's a lot of support for that.
Yeah, energetic support.
Yeah.
And in this process of letting go over the next couple of days, let go of the need for time. What you really, really, really want is not based in time. It's based in presence. So just focus on letting go of time over the next couple of days. The need for time.
Yeah, and also realizing that we're not in control. There is a much greater hand at play here. There's a much grander design. And we're not actually in charge of this whole show. So you can actually just let go a little bit and relax, because you just need to show up and be who you are. And there's something else that's orchestrating all this.
Yeah. Be the best version of yourself moment to moment to moment, and give the world everything you have to give. Give the world your best. And that's enough. That's more than enough. So do you want to lead us out? Do you want to choose a card? Should we choose an affirmation card?
Let's do that.
Yeah. Next Sunday we won't be doing a satsang, because we'll be away at our retreat at Buddhist Retreat Centre in Akopo. If you still want to join, I'm sure there might be still places available. The BRC does all the bookings and all the reservation, so we don't know do the bookings there. But if you go on their website, I'm sure they can still accommodate you. So we've got all these affirmation cards, and Michelle's going to choose one without looking at what it says. She's picked a yellow card. Yellow is solar plexus. It's your point of power here in the solar plexus. So we'll see what that is at the end of the meditation. Right? Okay. Thank you for being with us
Just
tonight.
another few minutes. I'll do a short one.
Yeah.
All right, so let's just settle in. Just settle into your seat. Taking a deep, beautiful breath in. And then a relaxing, releasing breath out. And another beautiful breath in. And then let all the breath out. Let it just slide off you and out of you. Feel yourself gently, gently dropping into awareness. Much like a feather floating through the air, very gently, very gently, very gently, and landing very gently on the ground, softly, softly. Softly landing in this place, in this present moment. Full awareness on the breath as you just notice it as it comes in and then as it leaves. Feel what it feels like to just be. No struggle, no forcing, just being here now. Let each breath soften and relax you more and more. As you put your shoulders back a little bit, you open up your heart. And you open up to life in this moment. Listening to the sounds that you can hear in this room. And then carefully extending your hearing out to hear what you can hear outside. And then bringing it back. Listening to what you can hear right now. Focusing in on your right hand. Fully focus on your right hand and sense the energy in your hand. This life force energy that is pulsing through you. You might be able to feel a little tingling or warmth in your hand as the energy moves. And the knowingness that this energy is pulsing through your body constantly. That life is living you. And you're an open channel to it. Your job is to stay open and allow life to live you. Our affirmation card for the night is: my point of power is in the present moment. Just connecting in with your heart, connecting in with a beautiful golden light right in the middle of your heart. My point of power is in the present moment. This is a very powerful affirmation to use during your week, during your waking hours. If you find yourself being taken into the story, into fear, into worry, into regret, a couple of breaths will bring you back into this present moment. My point of power is in the present moment. Now just feeling gratitude in your heart for the people on this call. Gratitude to yourself for having taken the time out to connect with yourself and with the others and with the energy of life. And from this point of light in our hearts, we radiate that light out into the world. Taking a deep breath in and out. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes or you can go to sleep. Thanks everyone.
Thank you all for joining us. Thank you. It's been a beautiful evening, and we look forward to catching you up on Tuesday night for Inner Space.
Yes.
Or in 2 weeks' time for
Satsang, yeah.
Or some of you may be coming to see us at the Buddhist Retreat Center. That would be lovely as well. God bless. I'll post this affirmation up on the Facebook page, and have a beautiful week.
Thanks everyone.
Lots of love.